The judgment follows a lengthy investigation by the Royal Gibraltar Police's money laundering unit into the assets of suspected drug trafficker Clint Serra and his family. Clint Serra, his mother Margot, sister Victoria, wife Sharon Jones and brother-in-law George Wink are named as defendants. Also named is Stamford Company Limited, owned by Clint's father Mario, who has since passed away. The claimant is the Crown. The Attorney General says the assets were purchased under the proceeds of crime and that the ultimate beneficiary owner is Clint Serra. The assets were placed into the names of his family, who the prosecution claim whether knowingly or unknowingly facilitated an arrangement to hide the true beneficiary. The Chief Justice Anthony Dudley heard the case back in January. On the line were 2 residential properties in Catalan Bay, 3 commercial units in Water Gardens and 2 taxi licences. The court heard the family had given no explanation as to how they were able to afford these assets. The Director of Public Prosecutions, Christian Rocker, explained that the purpose of proceedings was to stop people enjoying the fruits of crime, although he said he was not suggesting that any of the defendants named in the case knew or were involved, despite assets being in their names. As GBC reported at the time, the Chief Justice described the case as having exceptional red flags of money laundering. Findings from the police investigation into 6 years of the family's finances showed transactions described by the prosecution as money laundering 101. Almost 6 months after the case was heard, the Chief Justice has now issued his judgment, ordering all but 2 of the assets be seized from the Serra family under the Proceeds of Crime Act due to the links to criminal activity. Limitation periods mean one of the properties at Catalan Bay cannot be seized. The claim against one of the taxi licences also failed due to weakness of evidence, despite being described by Mr. Justice Dudley as being acquired for money laundering purposes. He said the courts will now write to the Transport Commission asking them to look into whether this taxi licence may need to be revoked. The case involved prominent local businessmen loaning the Serra family money to buy the assets. The judge chose not to name them in his judgment, and GBC have chosen to do the same. GBC have asked Verrills, the law firm representing the Serra family, if they will be appealing the judgment. We have not yet heard back.